Good morning and welcome to another conversation with Mose. And as always, I pray life is treating you well, exceptionally well, wherever you are in the world, and that you're one day closer to your dreams, hopes, prayers, and aspirations coming true. I'm going to get back to basics today, and I'm going to actually do a poem from one of my books. And today's subject matter for today is Black Anxiety, the fear we inherit. Black anxiety and the fear we inherit. And I'm going to read a poem from my book, Black Book 1. And it's actually a few years old now. And I'm going to read a poem called What Do White People Pray For? Again, what do white people pray for from my book, Black Book. Generations and generations of black people have worshiped a God they have never seen, but claim to have felt. As long as I can remember, God has been the cornerstone of my family and a host of many other black families. Meanwhile, white people have even used the teachings of the Bible to enslave the minds and souls of black people, keeping us trapped in ignorance and constantly questioning our purpose, only to mislead us into thinking we are uneducated savages, incapable of success, fulfilling lives. Prayer and faith and a strong belief in Jesus was a part of the life I was taught by my maternal grandmother. Her wisdom to me every day of my life: trust nobody but Jesus. I have lived by that principle my entire adult life. But I find myself asking the question, what do white people pray for? Our lives are so vastly different from our Caucasian counterparts. Black people pray to stay alive. Black people pray for the protection of their children and their children's children. Black people pray for the justice in an unjust society. Black people pray for equal rights and equal pay. Black people pray for quality education for their children and for themselves. Black people pray for becoming homeowners without the struggle of making a mortgage payment. Black people pray for satisfactory health care and living a long, joyful life. Black people pray for the right to simply be free from being judged by the color of our skin, but for the content of our character. So I pose the question again. If there is a God, and he is indeed listening, what exactly are white people praying for? Well, it's actually the first time I've ever read that poem, and it's actually one of my favorite poems from my book, Black Book. And I have to tell you what inspired that poem at the time. It's several years old, but I remember what inspired it. I was working at a job here in Oklahoma City, and there was a young lady who was a young white girl, and she had all these Christian oriented, I guess, paraphernalia on her desk. And I call it paraphernalia. I have my thoughts about that. But anyway, I saw all this stuff on her desk, crosses, and that's the one thing about Oklahoma. I guess it is the Bible Belt. So I've been told. I'm not used to seeing a lot of religious stuff at people's jobs. I mean, a cross here and there, but they have a lot of, I saw like paintings and art on people's desks and in people's offices. So anyway, she had all this stuff on her desk, and I was just in awe of it. I was really taken back because I was like, well, what exactly are white people praying for? They have everything, and that's what brought that poem forth in me. And it was just a question I had never asked myself before. It's like, what exactly are white people praying for? And which brings me to my podcast for today, sort of. It's not really, it's kind of in conjunction with it. But again, my subject matter for today is Black anxiety, the fear we inherit. And this is me being transparent as always. And first, let me say, this is not to gaslight anybody, and I'm not going to talk political. It's inspired from the political atmosphere that we're in right now. And I'm going to be honest and say that I've seen things on social media discussing all the challenges that we are going to face I guess, over the next 4 years. And I don't need to mention it. I mean, everybody's aware of what's going on. And if you're not, just get on social media or watch the news and see what's going on. But I have to say that I am scared. I am. I'm not just scared for myself, but I'm scared for other people that are going to be even more challenged than I am. But one thing I will not do is sit up in my fear and just be scared. I don't believe in that. Now, I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and this won't be any different. But I think now's the time for people, as I said before in my other podcasts, is to surround yourself with people that are going to problem solve with you. Find out what the problems are, get together to figure out what we're going to do about it. Because I feel like now, anybody that's around me, I don't need you to point out what's wrong. I don't need, whether it's personal, professional, political, I don't need anybody to tell me what's wrong. What are we going to do? What's our plan? That's who I want to be around. I don't care if it's a family member, a friend, a neighbor. What are we going to do about it? Now, are we going to sit up and complain, sit up and eat, drink, do something crazy that's not really going to benefit us? Or are we going to try to come up with a plan that's going to work? Because I know I will be 60 in 4 years. I'll be 57 at the end of the month. I don't have time to sit around and wallow in self-pity. I'm not doing it. I can do that by myself. I don't need to gaslight anyone. I'm gaslighting myself. And what brought forth this podcast is the fact that I was even seeing white people that are scared for black people, like really scared at where we're going, where we're headed. And I've never seen that before. Never seen white people actually fearful for us. And they're tired. Why are we still having this conversation? And I've never seen that before. Never. So I'm in a space of, how do I feel about it? And to be honest, I'm still processing it. I'm really still processing it. And I'm praying that my family and people I'm close to are doing the same thing. I think we have to lean into God, or whatever your higher power beliefs are. But I am fearful. But what I refuse to do is wallow in it. I just use it. I use the fear to move me forward, because I can't have any more sleepless nights, and I can't let anybody gaslight me. I have a temper. I do. All I need is a reason. All I need is a reason. And I've been seeing more people arguing and fighting online. And it just baffled me. It's like, I don't need that. I think all of us need to find some peace. And we're all upset for whatever reason. And we don't need to be gaslighted right now. I think that's the last thing we need, is to start. Because I do think we're headed for some sort of civil war. Because again, we have to first start with the war that's going on within ourselves. And I can only speak for me. But this podcast is about us thinking rationally. Right now, some of us have to be rational about what the future holds. And again, I'm all for problem solving. I don't have all the answers, but I'm not finna sit up here and, again, provoke people into doing something they're going to regret later. Because for one, black people need to be on their best, because all they need is a reason. All they need is a reason now. I don't have a criminal background, but let me do one thing. It'll definitely jeopardize the rest of my life. And I've never done anything. I've never been to jail, never done anything criminal. So I've gone this far to make a decent life for myself. But again, I think about all the criminals and all the people that have had rough lives. It's just going to get rougher for them. And I've never felt these emotions before. I've never felt so compassionate, confused at the same time. When it comes to relationships, I think people need to really take inventory who you're with, because you have to have this conversation. I don't know, because even if it doesn't affect you directly, it affects somebody that you know. I know it does. A cousin, a neighbor, a friend. If it doesn't affect you directly, it's affecting somebody that you know. And yeah, now that cousin is probably going to have to borrow money from you, and they may not be able to pay it back right away. Again, and I'm going to be real transparent. The fact that SNAP might be getting taken away or questioned, when I say question, I mean like SNAP, they're probably going to give people more of a hard time just to get SNAP, which is like the food stamp equivalent. And I'm like, what? Medicaid and all these different things that are being jeopardized, and education. And I'm just baffled that we're here and that we're having these conversations, honestly. But we have to have them. We can't pretend it's not there or they're just going to just magically go away. And again, I don't think we need to be wallowing right now. I don't think we need to be feeling sorry for ourselves. I think we need to step up our game and really get our groups together to figure out what the next moves are. Because again, we're going to need to lean on each other, whether we want to or not. And I think people need to really sit back and assess what needs to happen. And I'm talking from educated to uneducated to rich to poor, middle class, lower class. It's everybody's problem now. It's not just one group's problem. It's affecting everybody. And even white people are being affected. So again, I think we need to sit down and figure out what our next moves are, because we can't live in black anxiety. And I'm calling it black anxiety because black people do have anxiety that other people don't have. And I'm sick of people dismissing that. And it affects people differently. Some people have high levels of black anxiety, low levels. Does it matter what level it is? We need to be listening to each other and stop dismissing how people really feel. It's tough out here in these streets. And just saying, oh, just pray about it or just go to church or just do this, those days aren't working anymore. People are still praying. Nobody's not praying. But again, we have to lean on each other. And again, I don't need no help being gaslighted. I just don't. I have my own anxiety issues, as you all know, I do take Prozac. I've been taking Prozac for several years now, actually, and for anxiety. And the side effects drive me insane, but, again, it does help take some of the edge off. Do I like the fact that I'm taking medication? No, I don't. But I'm doing that right now. And my anxiety is showing up in other things, and I do feel like I'm depressed probably more than I want to admit. And I'm working on that. I'm really consciously working on it. That's why I can't be around people that, again, for lack of a better word, gaslight me. I can't be around people that want to be there in that space. I can't. And it doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter. And all right, planes flying overhead. So I don't have any issues with any particular person. Because again, I think the biggest issue I have is the fact that we are being forced into situations we probably didn't ask for, but we're here now. So what is our next moves? What do we need to do? But my first suggestion is we have to continue what we've been doing and try to find joy somewhere in our lives, somewhere during the day. We have to find joy, period. And we have to look and seek joy in the little things and start there. And it's mental. We have to fight the battles in our minds to overcome certain things, because some of us, like I said, are getting high. Some of us are drinking. Some of us are eating, whatever it is, to lose ourselves or to escape our problems. But it's still going to be there when you come out of it. You can't escape it. And I've said this before, you can't have enough sex to make it go away, to pretend like, again, people are looking for things externally. I feel like if you're in a relationship, you have to lean on each other. Looking outside your relationship for some kind of level of comfort. I've been there and done that. And what I mean by that is that you got to be honest. What exactly are you looking for? What exactly are you running from? And if you start there, then the rest will fall in place to me. Because once I was honest with myself about who I was and where I was, and I'm not talking about the gay me, I'm talking about what's the word I'm looking for? The strong willed, militant, I guess if that's what you want to call me, take no shit black man. That's who I am. And I'm not apologizing for that. I think I always did. Like, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't be this person or that person. I am unapologetically black. And I embrace, that's the clause that I finally came out of. It's like, why am I taking this? Why am I allowing this to happen? I'm like, I think I'm more proud of that side of me than I am the gay side. It's like, I am one of those. You're not going to talk crazy to me. You're not going to say anything to me. You're not going to disrespect me under any circumstance. Black, white, I don't care who you are. Family member, I'm just not in that space anymore. People pleasing, and I can say this proudly, kiss my ass. And I'm saying that to say we have to get a plan. We have to get a plan. We can't sit around and just wallow. And I'm not saying let's go burn bridges or do stuff. I'm not saying that either. But I'm saying I'm proudly willing to do whatever's necessary to better my life. Again, and I'm not whoever I need to help. And I'm open again to suggestions. But this is not to gaslight people. Like I said, it's not one of those podcasts. But black anxiety is real. It's a real thing that we have to address. It's the elephant in the room that everybody wants to pretend isn't there. I'm not worried about other races. I'm worried about us. What are we doing? What are we doing to get through this time? What are we telling our children and our children's children? What are we saying to them? What are we saying? Because this is the world we're leaving behind for them. And I don't think it's going to be like this forever. I don't. I really do think that change is going to come. But I know when I'm an ancestor, I want the young people to be able to say, what would Mose do, or what would he suggest us that we do? And I have no political ambitions at all. But again, I think that we need to encourage each other, lean on each other, figure some things out, and implement those plans. That's what I think. I really think that. And I'm not even opposed to working with other races to fix the problems that we have. But again, we have to fight the powers that be, and we just do. Whatever. And like I said, I'm open to suggestions. I don't really have the blueprint of what we should be doing. But I am going to lean into God, though. I am. I mean, I think I've never had this, I never had this relationship with God. I've never leaned into God the way I'm leaning into him now. Never. And I'm not looking at anybody to fix it. My depression, my sadness, my anger, this is all on me. I'm not looking for my relationship, my family, anybody to fix it, because I have to do the work. I have to do the work. Nobody can do the work for you. I don't care what it is. Getting out of bed, getting up in the morning, going for walks, But the other thing that I feel like we need to do is we definitely have to do self-care. Self-care is at the top of the list. You can't help other people if you need help. And then also saying that you need help. We cannot be acting prideful. We got to tell people that we need help. I'm a firm believer. You got to say the words, and you call until you get somebody. But you got to say, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling some kind of way. But this, they don't check on me. They don't. Sometimes people they worried about themselves right now. Get out of your feelings. Like I said, fuck your feelings. Call somebody and say, I'm hurting. I need help. I need assistance. So, and you call until you get somebody. But this thinking people are mind readers and, they not checking on me. Ain't nobody going to check on you. Now, you might have one or two friends that may check on you, but get out of there. Get out of your head and saying, so-and-so. We all got shit that we dealing with. So those, I don't buy that excuse at all. You know who you need to call. And it's like, if you need to borrow some money, if you need to do something, now's the time to prepare for whatever may be coming. But this, I don't believe in sitting around, or we just going to boo-hoo, we're going to cry. If you need to cry, cry. I'm a firm believer in it. But at the same time, I can't do the self pity thing, man. I can't do it, you know. And I can't be around black people that just want to, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to say it, house niggas. You know, and I don't use that word, but I've been around black people that I can't stand. They want to make white people comfortable and they don't want to make any waves. I'm sorry, I can't be around those people either. No disrespect to those type of black people, but I'm not here to make white people comfortable. They've spent my entire life making me uncomfortable. So now the tables have turned. I could give a damn about how white people feel about me. You know, and again, what are white people praying for? I feel like they have everything. And even, forgive me for saying it, I don't feel sorry for poor white people. You know, that's just laziness to me. That's real laziness. Y'all have the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've never seen so much mental challenge and homelessness since I moved to Oklahoma. It's different to see a white person begging for money. It's like I've never seen as many homeless, mentally challenged white people, poor white trash, as they say, in my life. I never really saw that in Atlanta. And these are attractive people that could just, all they need is to clean themselves up. But I'm thinking, what are you stressed out about? That's what I want to say. I mean, I'm like, why are you on the street? I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I'm confused. I really am. I'm really in a world in my mind like, what is happening here? And it is time for us to speak up about equal pay and benefits and health. And those days of trying to be passive aggressive, they're just gone. Gone. It's like, and getting your hustle on is a real thing. Getting your hustle on. And like I said, it's one of those things. And then I'm going to say this, when people are borrowing money from you, and I'm not talking about the cousin that's just getting high, or, I mean, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that are really busting their ass, that have to humble themselves to ask you for money. Because I've done that before. Stop harassing them. And if they say they'll pay you back when they can, believe them, or just don't give them the money. Because I can speak from experience. I don't like people harassing me like bill collectors. And my financial situation has been up and down, in and out the last few years. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to pay people back. But again, it's like not because I don't want to. But I think it's okay if you want to get something in writing, whatever you want to do to make you feel better about it. But we are living in some challenging times. I mean, let's just keep it real. And I don't know, again, I'm not getting into name calling, and this is not meant to be a political conversation. It's inspired by a political conversation, but I'm not doing that. I'm just not. But seeing everybody on social media being angry and complaining and saying all these different things, I couldn't even sleep last night because all this stuff was getting in my spirit. And I'm like, oh no, I can't take this on. I can't, you know. And I did want to do this podcast on the 4th of July specifically because, again, I don't really celebrate 4th of July. I'm definitely in a different space when it comes to that. And that's a whole nother conversation. But again, my thing is, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about the future right now? How are we going to get through day to day? And because, again, online, offline, I'm not listening to people that want to complain. I'm just not. You know, I'm not listening to people that don't want to talk to their husbands, their wives about, or their children. These are the conversations you got to have with your kids, like real conversations. And I don't have children, biological children, but let me just tell you, we would have a real honest family conversation. This is what's going on. This is what we're going to do. And these days of trying to pretend like we don't know, it confuses me. It confuses the hell out of me how we not having these conversations with our kids. Like being honest, real honest. So those days of tiptoeing around and saying it's going to go away, because we still have to be married. We still have to raise our kids, even with the shit that's going on. You still got to be a good dad, a good mom, a good husband, you know, pet owner, whatever it is you're doing, in spite of what's going on. So that's why I said, what are we going to do? Are we going to sit around and bitch? Because that's all I see people doing, bitching. Oh, you see what he did? You see what he did? You see what he did? So what the hell are we going to do? So again, I'm open to suggestions. I'm ready to hear what people are thinking about. What should we do? Because I don't know. But again, I'm going to face my black anxiety head on. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to pretend it's not there. I'm not. I'm not going to do it because it is affecting my body. It's affecting my mind and my spirit. That's a problem for me. Huge problem. You know, because I do have attitude. I'm not even going to front. I'm not going to lie. All I need is a reason to pop off. And I can't be in that space. I can't. So people that don't hear from me, people that, well, Moses, because I got stuff to do. Now, if you need assistance, if you need help, like I said, say the words, I need help. I need help. But this hoping people will check on you or read your mind and they know that you're going through shit, no, we're not doing that. You've heard me say that before. I don't feel sorry for people like that because you got to say it. All this pridefulness and, they're not checking on me. I don't care. Did you tell them that you needed help? Did you tell them that you need to pay your bills, that you might get put out of your apartment, that you're sick or whatever it is? How can you get help if you're not saying anything? That's my thing. Speak the words. Say, hey, I need some help. And the same thing with prayer. Be honest with God. I am very honest with God, transparent. God knows my heart and my spirit. He knows what moves me, what gets me up in the morning, what pisses me off, and what calms me down. Be honest with God. If that's where you are going, and say, he knows what's on your heart anyway. So I don't believe in this. Again, I think we have to be transparent, but we have to start with ourselves, period. And looking for it externally for some kind of happiness, some kind of miracle cure, there is no miracle cure. There isn't. You have to face your shit head on and get through it. And we will get through it. It might be painful. Some tears might get shed. We might even lose. There might even be some casualties. But we have to do what's right. And we have to figure out now. Now is the time. So let me get off my soapbox and transition into something more positive. I just want to say also that if you stop by my store, All Things Moetic, I have quite a few new items there that I'm very proud of. I'm working on my greeting cards. I have new t-shirts in there that I want you to check out. Coffee mugs for my podcast, Conversation with Mose. I'm working on my All Things Moetic t-shirts. I have my Black Man Magic shirts. There's a variety of things in there for you to check out. And also my pictures and my images and my books. Again, like that poem I just read, What Are White People Praying For? Or What Do White People Pray For? From my book, Black Book 1. That's available as well. So there's a multitude of things in there for you to check out. So, and then also I have a new black flag that I'm proud of. The content of my character, it's in my store as well. And it's perfect for like dorm rooms or just really, it kind of almost has a 70s vibe. It's beautiful, it's colorful, it's black, it's very me. And I would love for you guys to get one of those as well. So if you go by my store, you'll see All Things Moetic. And I just want to say, as always, thank you for listening. I hope you understand my perspectives, my opinions, my thoughts, because that's what they are. They're just my thoughts. And I want to encourage you to do what's best for you. And as always, I pray life is treating you well, wherever you are in the world, and that you're one day closer to your dreams, hopes, prayers, and aspirations coming true. Thank you for listening.